stunning and gorgeous. I love being around him. I liked his energy. I just didn't think we would have great sex. But I knew I liked being around somebody really attractive, and he was fun. You can have 6 people that make up one and keep your heart open and knowing that when you find the one, you're going to know.
And you don't have to sleep with all 6. That's another thing about dating. Like when you share, I'm talking to 6 guys, doesn't mean I'm having sex with all of them. So you could literally kind of build a bear until you find the one that you really want to be like, okay, I'm good with talking.
But don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share and subscribe. You are watching Marjorie with Purpose. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments as I'm going through this very interesting discussion with these 4 women. Welcome. Thanks for watching Marjorie with Purpose.
How do you differentiate or tell women that they could have these non-committal friends with benefits situations with men while also wanting the feelings of being cared for, like if they were their partner?
I loved what you said so much about accepting your fate, because when you just know in your heart, and most people can know this, 80% of people will find a long-term partner by 40. I can't promise you that 80% of people are going to get a house, are going to have their dream job. I can't make that kind of promise. You're going to live in the best city. But that is a stat that only exists for this space. So you can almost move like it's going to happen. But you also have no control over when you meet that person. What you do have control over, I think, though, is your light. Like being in a space where you are light, where you feel liquid, where you don't feel needy because you have opportunities around you. I would say, and I did this when I had a fuck buddy, which Jared is my fuck buddy, which is the worst plot twist. I know, it's so boring. Now look what you turned into. Such a good fuck buddy relationship, because I had Jared as a fuck buddy. I had a cuddle buddy who I would go and sleep over with afterwards, because that's
not what y'all had.
No, but the other guy, I would go over there. We never had sex, but I would walk his dog.
He had to be smaller.
We would be attracted. He was so fine. He was a model. He wasn't what Jared had sexually, sauce-wise, and skill-wise.
The skill.
Not women telling each other you can have 6 different men and not be, not sleep with all of them. I know these aren't Christian women, so I'm not going to compare them to Christian women. I'm not going to expect them to have Christian values. So we're watching this. She's a YouTuber by the name of Shan. I used to watch her. I used to watch a lot of her stuff, but I got tired of watching stuff that didn't feed my spirit. It was, she's all sex, but sex was created and designed by God. And, people who want to talk about sex, where you got Christians don't want to talk about sex, and you got unbelievers talking about sex like it's just sex. But that's a whole other discussion. We're going to watch these women have this very interesting discussion about men and dating, and then we're going to talk shrimp about it. Hit the like button if you haven't done that yet.
Like in the way Shan used the model guy. Some people don't like that word. We're using someone for everything, right? And when he would come over to me, I love to cook. So I could tell, like, when we would make jokes, he's like, I'm just having a girlfriend, you was having a boyfriend. That admittance of that is like, oh, it's not you. But I kind of liked playing house a little bit. I loved having him come over, eat my meal, or not, it sounded like eat my coochie. Enjoy my meals, watch TV. No, we didn't have sex. Watch TV with me. We cuddle a little bit. And that was just kind of it. And I wondered for a long time, is he not as attracted to me because there's no sex? And I was like, oh, he's just not enjoying or able to enjoy the other woman he's having sex with in that way. So for me, he doesn't want to touch that. We connected on dates, but it wasn't crazy sexual energy where we were that comfortable. That person does exist too. The fuck buddy to me that becomes the cuddle person, I think everyone starts to get really confused. And I'm not talking about basic cuddling after. When it turns into the sleepovers and maybe a plan after, that's when it gets scary. Because we believe the cuddling after is respect. There's no world where Jared ended up marrying a woman he never respected. Leaving after sex doesn't mean there isn't respect there. It's just sometimes a safeguard for both people. But for some reason, we think if they leave or if we don't get XYZ out of them, we're worthless or we gave up too much of ourselves. Well, you got dick too. So it's weird because I guess the accepting the fate thing, it's like knowing what I want could only be this. If I get some extras, cool. But this is what it is. I know I need to have some good carnal sex. That's what it is. That's where I want it to last. That's where I want it to stay. And like even creating that, I think is important.
For women like us, and I'm putting us together.
I don't know what women think. Again, I have to remind myself that these are not followers of Jesus Christ. So I'm not going to even put them in that box. I'm not even going to put them so they're behaving accordingly. People have to realize, like, we can't expect Christian behavior from non-Christians. Unbelievers are going to behave the way unbelievers behave. Just because they say they believe in God doesn't make them followers of Jesus Christ. There's a whole lot of people who call themselves Christians that are not followers of Jesus Christ, that believe this theology that these women are speaking of, that go to church, that consider themselves Christians and live the lifestyle that these women are talking about. So I'm not gonna put these women in a category of where they're supposed to be behaving like Christians. But Shan is married, so I don't know I don't know what kind of marriage she's in. I don't know if she's in an open marriage. I don't know. But but these women are talking the way unbelievers talk and living the way unbelievers live. The issue becomes when you have Christians that talk like this, where you have married Christian women that don't discuss sex at all, that have that are struggling sexually and don't talk about it. That's what frustrates me about the church. You have married women that are ashamed to talk about their sexual desires, their sexual urges, their sexual displeasures or pleasures or dissatisfactions. They're afraid to talk about it. So then, and the church demonizes sex talk like this. The way they're talking about it is not how Christian women should talk about it. Christian women should be comfortable talking about their sex lives in a way to help them improve their marital bed. But that's not what's happening in the church. So you have unbelievers like these talking about sex openly and comfortably when it's designed by God, and it should be talked about with comfort and confidence among God's people, much more so than these people parading around their sin. But let's continue watching.
Who, again, there's a gap between what they see themselves doing and what they're actually doing. A lot of that is because of fear. So I'm just curious if you guys feel like you lost anything in pursuit of sexual liberation.
I think early on I lost myself. Like I said earlier, I was doing things for the pleasure of someone else. I was seeking validation from someone else. I was thinking that, back to what we were talking, if I give him the best head of his life, he's gonna like me more and put me on a pedestal and all these things. Like, I lost myself for a long time in the pursuit of confidence, essentially. Like it was a false sense of confidence that I wore out to parties and clubs. And yes, I had the personality, but maybe I didn't look as, the part. And so I lost myself a lot. And now I feel like I've gotten that back through like just being more confident with what I like and how I want to pursue my partners or what we want to partake in. But that's what I would say I lost during that search.
I want to ask about that because you always hear the story of the woman who was sexually liberated, did her thing, had her whole phase, enjoyed it, who then finds a partner, finds God, finds insert here, and now is like, if I could give advice to younger women, it would be don't respect yourself, love yourself.
I don't think that that's the advice I would give. I'll be honest with you too. Like even with the rebrand, right? When we started Horrible Decisions, we wore the horrible.
So love yourself, respect yourself isn't the advice you would give. Okay. And so folks is interested with their comments and their words. So she's essentially demonizing women who turn their lives to God and come out and tell the truth that all that sleeping around they was doing was not all that fun. Because all these women ended up doing, that's what they end up doing anyway, whether they find God or not. They come out and let it be known that, yeah, I was sleeping around, but I wasn't having as much fun as I wanted people to perceive me to be having. It was a facade that I was having all this fun sleeping around. So she's trying to get these women to say, oh, no, sexual liberation actually is the best life. And I wouldn't tell women to love themselves or respect themselves. Good Lord.
Badge proudly. Like we have the whore hive. Like it was a word that we essentially wanted to reclaim. Unfortunately, with the reversal of Roe v. Wade and all these motherfuckers trying to take away our rights and autonomy, I think that we're even down the rabbit hole even further of what it looks like to be labeled as that. And I think as a woman seeking her own sexual liberation, and what it really means is freedom and power to remove yourself from all stigmas and all labels that patriarchy has wanted to give us, right? And so for me, where I thought it would be an empowering word, it's one of those words that we as women, I don't think we'll ever get to reclaim, unfortunately. And so that title,
you gave up.
It's not a badge to wear that anymore. However, to feel free and to feel powerful and to be able to express to a man, no. And to say, actually, this is how I receive pleasure. If you can't do that, I'm fine. Me not changing myself to appease a man or to be more likely for him to select me. That's power. That's liberation. It's not walking around here saying, oh, I fuck everybody, whoever I want. I also take it from the back and all my holes. Like there's a way to express it. Yes. And we've done it on this pod for 8 years comedically. And we shared our traumas. We shared our laughs. Sex is fun. Right. But I think for me, like owning your true power. So when you say you want to sleep with someone, doing it because you want to do it and really knowing what you want. Like even when we were talking about, right, the casual partners, I think that's the problem with a lot of women. They're like, yeah, I just want to use him for dick. And then he comes over and you realize, no, bitch, you want to be held. You want a hug. You want a man to rub you on your forehead. There actually are more things that you want And now liberation to you only looks like dick. Liberation doesn't look like asking for all of those other things you actually want, which is what leaves you feeling completely empty.
But sexual liberation should exist in its own, though.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
To me, I agree. Like, if you do want to be held and not sex, it isn't sexual liberation. Sexual liberation to me is someone like you even saying bondage and submission. That's very specific. That is being sexually liberated. It's not someone that just wants to fuck. You may not even have sex being tied up. You may get it from that, which most people in the BDSM community find to be the most thrilling. The release of it, the tying up, like it's almost a foreplay, and again, the sexual energy. But I think gaining power and knowing what you want and dating, or even for yourself, is different from sexual liberation. Because you got to think, a lot of people that would read this book are going to figure out how to ask for threesomes, anal sex, how to be more specific about not having orgasms, things like that, how to do things on their own. But I would tie what you were asking for, though, to both. Because it's like, I'm a normal girl. Hey, can I just be cuddled? But I also do want this. It's tough because accepting the fate, like what you want may not look like the perfect package. Do you know how hard it is to find a fuck buddy that you can cuddle with? She didn't even get that way if she married him.
So women want a F buddy to pretend like he cares about her, even if it's just for a few minutes, so that she's not just feeling used like a cum bucket. Lord, single, wanting the privileges of marriage. I see it over and over again. One thing I will agree with, though, I do agree with women should be more comfortable with expressing their sexual desires. You can do this as a married woman. These sexual discussions should be had, especially during the time like before we get married. You know what? Letting your partner know these are some of the things I'm interested in. Women should know how to please themselves, whether with toys or without toys. Women should know their own bodies. I hate that the church has demonized masturbation. I believe that you should have absolute self-control, yes, but you should also know your body. Because if you don't know if you don't know how your body works and you don't know how to please yourself, how you going to tell a partner what you going to tell a partner to do? How you going to tell your husband how to please you if you don't know how to please yourself? That's one thing men know. Men know how to please themselves. Men know how to work the penis. They know how their penis works. They know what they like. They know what they don't like. Women, on the other hand, like I watched the majority of this interview, and the woman with the dreadlocks and the blue dress, she talks about that she was a virgin and she was made to feel bad about being a sexual being and having sexual desires. That is something I absolutely resent about the church, that we've made sexual desires that we've demonized it, instead of just saying, you know what, those are healthy. It is healthy to have sexual desires. Homosexual desires are not of God, but they're normal. And it's just a matter of getting yourself under control, getting your thoughts, holding every thought captive and lining it up with the will of God. Whether homosexual or heterosexual desires, getting your mind under control and getting your desires lined up with the will of God. It doesn't matter what kind of desires you have. They're not normal. We should not feel bad about having sexual desires. And masturbation, just like anything, could become an addiction. I just recommend that women understand how your body works. Christian women, married women, know how your vagina works. Don't expect a man to know how your vagina works and you don't. That's what I'm going to recommend to women. But I don't think women should feel bad about having sexual desires. I don't think men should feel bad about having sexual desires. Let your partner know what you're interested in, things you would like to try. Because I'm like, once you get married, what you and your husband and wife do in the bedroom is y'all's business. That's between you and God. As long as there's no animals and children involved, who cares? That's y'all business. Again, stay away from the demonic deviations like, bestiality and pedophilia and things like that. Otherwise, other than that, whatever a husband and wife do in their bedroom is their business. It's not nobody else's business what they doing in their bedroom. But that's a whole other conversation for a whole nother day. But this discussion was very interesting. I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, praying for people. Christians should not be taking the advice, this kind of dating advice. We should be consulted with the Lord on everything, on every level. When it comes to our dating, when it comes to our sexuality, we should be taking it all to the Lord. Don't feel ashamed to take anything to the Lord. Be honest with the Lord about your sexual desires, no matter how good or bad or evil they seem. Take it to the Lord. He can deal with it. He wants to commune with you. He wants to help you figure your life out, figure out yourself, figure out your desires. And if all you got to do is ask. If you ask the Lord, Lord, why I'm feeling this way? Lord, why I'm struggling with this? Lord, help me with this. Help me. I'm struggling with that. He will help you. He will answer you. So get in the word. Don't be ashamed to talk to the Lord about anything and everything. And pray, pray, pray every day, all day. And keep flying with the Most High Holy Ghost flock. I love you guys. Until next time. Deuces.